It is story time with the Presidente. Let's go! Welcome back to the channel, everybody. El Presidente with you here once again. And today I have a story. It's a special story. It's a story that I call
Truck versus Cat.
So back in the day, about 10, 11 years ago, I had moved to the Big Bend area, and my family, and I was still married at the time, was living in San Antonio. So I used to make that trek 5.5 hours every other weekend. And there's a long, lonely road going from this area into San Antonio, 5.5 hours driving. I was doing that every 2 weeks. So every other weekend I was driving out there. Now, side note, I'm going to tell you about that highway, I-10, running from Fort Stockton into San Antonio. That was the portion of I-10 I was driving. There was other parts before then, but the one that matters is I-10. I call it the 100 miles of nothing. There's nothing. You leave Fort Stockton and you drive and you drive and you drive 100 miles until you hit Ozona. There's nothing. In between. Oh, sure, little town of Bakersfield there tries to say that there's something, but they're not. It's nothing. There's nothing there. Well, hang on. Side note. I was driving into Junction, and now I remember this one quite well. I was driving into Junction, and this was right after they had raised the speed limit to 80, and I'm taking full advantage of that. I might have been pushing it a few miles over, but I'm cruising along. I'm thinking about getting to San Antonio at a decent time. I think I'd gotten out early from work, and I'm headed there. So I'm cruising along, I'm minding my own business, and then sure enough, so I pull over. No trooper comes over to the side of my car and says, "You know why I pulled you over?" I said, "No, honestly, no, I don't." He said, "You were going 84 miles an hour. And I looked at him and I said, "You pulled me over for going 4 miles over the speed limit?" He said, "Yeah, we just raised it to 80, and now you want to take 4 more above that?" And I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, I get you. I just didn't think, 4 miles. I honestly, I didn't know how fast I was going. I was in the zone. But then after that, or I don't think it was the same trip. It might have been a different trip. But anyway, so I going back to the story, go into this town and pull into this old gas station. Okay, maybe not that old. I fill up, and it's getting dark already. As a matter of fact, it already had turned dark. And I pull out of the gas station in my pickup, and I'm about to leave the little town, like one light in the town. So I'm coming over to the intersection, just in the little neighborhood, because that's where the gas station was. And as I'm going through, here comes a cat, just crossing the road. And I'm thinking, like most cats, when they're crossing the road, they just keep going. They're going fast, So, I didn't really slow down because I'm thinking he's going to keep going to the other side of the street. Well, he didn't. He, instead of running across, he stopped halfway through and crouched. Well, that was a bad move on his part. I felt bad. I stopped, right? And I looked around, and I saw this house. It looked like the cat was going in the direction of that house. And I was like, well, I better check. And so I park and I go over and I knock on the door. Lady answers. I said, lady, I'm afraid I might have run over your cat. And she said, oh my God. What did he look like? I said, well, he looked like this.